Portfolio𝙨𝙚 is our preferred investment strategy. It follows Nobel Prize-winning theory and is very much an evidence-based, scientific approach to managing client money. Portfolio𝙨𝙚 is a client stream, and that's because within Portfolio𝙨𝙚 we have a number of risk-based portfolios that have expected returns based on the evidence-based research and the historic returns that they have demonstrated. So it's very scientific, and it's a great approach because within your financial plan we've assumed a return that you're going to get. So we know the return our clients need to live this life that they want to live, be that 4%, 5%, 6%. So all we simply have to do is match a portfolio with your plan.
When constructing Portfolio𝙨𝙚, there's two elements that are important to consider. The first one is asset allocation. The simplest way to view asset allocation is to consider a scenario. If an investor bought one company, they put all of their investment into that sole company, and that carries the risk of that investment. If that company does well, their investment will go up, but should that company fail and ultimately go out of business, they could lose all of their money. To avoid this, the simple answer is to diversify. We don't look to invest across individual companies, we invest across markets. The same principle applies to countries. Portfolio𝙨𝙚 doesn't just invest in one or two countries, it invests across the globe. To add an extra layer of diversification on top of investing across the globe, we also tilt the portfolios towards factors. Factors produce an excess return over a benchmark over the long term. There are over 600 factors being identified over time. These include value investing, smaller companies investing, and minimum volatility. The second important element is how we invest that money. In investments, there are two different types of investment strategy. The first one is active managed, and the second is passively managed. There have been an awful lot of studies into which investment strategy is the most efficient. Having studied this research, the overwhelming evidence suggests that passively managed investments gives an investor the greatest potential of return over the long term. Why is this? Well, the first element comes down to the ability of an actively managed fund to pick stocks that are going to outperform other stocks within their market. Now, the evidence shows that stock picking over a long term does not produce an extra layer of return than the market. The second element is cost. Actively managed funds have to study and research companies within markets to try and find information that the market does not know about these companies. Therefore, they hope that by finding this information, it produces an extra layer of return. This research obviously costs money, and therefore an actively managed fund has to charge more to the investor to compensate for this additional cost. When we look at passively managed funds, as they are replicating a market, their costs are much lower, as effectively they are just following what the market does. The impact of this cost difference is on your returns. As an investor, an actively managed fund keeps more of the market return that you would be receiving if you invested in a passively managed fund. This impact over the long term and the impact of compound returns can have a great effect on the end value that you as an investor receive. When we combine the asset allocation that Portfolio𝙨𝙚 adopts along with the passive investment approach, we believe that Portfolio𝙨𝙚 produces an optimised portfolio designed to produce returns in excess of the market over the long term.
Clients tell us that the benefits of investing in Portfolio𝙨𝙚 is it's dependable. It does what it says on the tin. It's generated the expected returns that they need to achieve their objectives as detailed within their financial plan. It's low costed, they're very happy with it.